When we think of the great figures of the 20th century, one name shines with a blend of light and shadow, beauty and tragedy: Marilyn Monroe. She was one of the most famous women in the world, but also one of the loneliest. Her life was a roller coaster of success, love, heartbreak, and a mysterious end. Today, on Behind the Character, we'll uncover the true story of Marilyn Monroe, the woman behind the myth, the origins of a wounded soul. Marilyn was born on June 1, 1926, in Los Angeles as Norma Jeane Mortensen. Her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, was a hardworking, sensitive woman who struggled with severe mental illness, leading to repeated hospitalizations. Norma Jeane grew up without a father, though in 2022 DNA tests confirmed he was Charles Stanley Gifford, a man her mother once had a brief relationship with. He never acknowledged or sought her out. Her childhood was a whirlwind. She lived in orphanages and foster homes, moving more than a dozen times. She grew up feeling abandoned, constantly searching for a place to belong. That deep loneliness would forever shape her view of love, work, and life. She also had a half-sister, Bernice Baker Miracle, whom she met only as an adult. Their reunion was touching but brief. Their lives would never truly intertwine, from factory girl to first marriage. At just 16, Norma Jeane married her neighbor James Doherty, 5 years her senior, not for love, but to avoid returning to the orphanage. While he served in the Navy during World War II, she worked in a munitions factory. And it was there, among uniforms and machinery, that a military photographer noticed her beauty and took a few photos. Those pictures reached a modeling agency, and from them, Marilyn Monroe was born. The camera adored her, and through its lens, she finally found what she'd always been missing: attention, admiration, affection. The birth of Marilyn Monroe. Norma Jeane changed her name and her destiny. In the late 1940s, she signed her first contracts with 20th Century Fox and Columbia Pictures. At first, she got small roles: secretaries, dancers, background girls. But there was something magnetic about her presence on screen. Gradually, she gained recognition in films like As Young as You Feel, Monkey Business, Clash by Night, and Don't Bother to Knock. Then came a scandal that could have ended her career. Nude photos surfaced. At a time when that could destroy a woman's reputation, Marilyn faced it head-on. She admitted she had done it during hard times, and the public loved her even more. The myth was born. The rise to stardom. By 1953, Marilyn Monroe was a superstar. That year, she released 3 hit films: Niagara, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and How to Marry a Millionaire. She became the first woman to appear nude on the cover of Playboy, and her figure became the ultimate symbol of sensuality and desire. Hollywood turned her into the dumb blonde, but behind that smile was an avid reader, a curious mind, and a woman who longed to be taken seriously. Her sensuality was part of the character, not her essence. With The 7-Year Itch and Some Like It Hot, she broke box office records. Her films earned over $200 million at the time, the equivalent of more than $2 billion today. She was the most famous woman on Earth. But inside, she was deeply unhappy. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the upcoming biographies. And while you're at it, give it a like. It really helps me grow this channel. Thanks a lot, and let's get back to the story. Fighting for independence. Tired of being controlled by the studios, in 1954, Marilyn made a groundbreaking move. She founded her own company, Marilyn Monroe Productions, seeking creative freedom and fairer contracts. It was a bold step in a male-dominated industry. In 1955, she moved to New York to study acting at the legendary Actors Studio under Lee Strasberg, the father of method acting. There, Marilyn found a space to explore her emotions and turn her pain into art. This transformed her craft, and the world began to see her differently. Films like Bus Stop, 1956, showcased her dramatic depth, earning her critical acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination. Later, in The Prince and the Showgirl with Laurence Olivier, she proved her professionalism despite the tensions on set. In 1960, she won the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a comedy or musical for Some Like It Hot, one of the greatest comedies ever made. And in The Misfits, 1961, her final completed film, she gave a hauntingly powerful performance, even as her personal life fell apart. Love, loneliness, and the search for affection. Marilyn was married 3 times. Her first husband, Dougherty, couldn't accept her Hollywood dreams. Her second, baseball legend Joe DiMaggio, loved her deeply, but couldn't handle her fame or sensual image. Despite their divorce, he remained devoted to her, and even arranged her funeral. Her third husband, playwright Arthur Miller, author of The Crucible, he seemed to be like her soulmate, beauty and intellect united. But their relationship deteriorated under the weight of disappointment and emotional distance. Marilyn was crushed when she found Miller's diary, where he wrote that she embarrassed him. That wound never healed. She was also rumored to have had affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert, though none were ever proven. Her famous Happy Birthday, Mr. President performance in 1962 only fueled the rumors and perhaps sealed her fate. But beyond the gossip, Marilyn was a woman who simply longed for love, understanding, and peace. Things she rarely found. The emotional decline. The pressure of fame, heartbreak, and exploitation took a toll on her mental health. She battled depression, anxiety, and insomnia. She relied more and more on barbiturates and alcohol just to get some sleep, a spiral that became impossible to escape. During the filming of Something's Got to Give in 1962, her absences and breakdowns led the studio to shut down production. Hollywood began to turn its back on her. The end and the mystery. In the early hours of August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home. She was only 36. The official cause, an overdose of barbiturates. Probable suicide. But questions arose immediately. Some believed it was an accidental overdose. Others suspected conspiracy, a silencing connected to the Kennedys or government secrets. There were whispers of a cover-up. No theory has ever been proven. And as the years passed, the truth faded into legend. Perhaps the real mystery of Marilyn isn't how she died, but how she lived, the legacy of a legend. More than 60 years later, Marilyn Monroe remains immortal. Her face is among the most recognized on Earth. Her image, painted, printed, and reimagined countless times, became an icon of pop culture. But behind the sex symbol was a fragile, thoughtful, deeply sensitive woman, a seeker of meaning and connection. She turned her pain into beauty, her vulnerability into strength. Marilyn defied the studios, the patriarchy, and the hypocrisy of her time. The world may have labeled her the dumb blonde, but she was so much more: an actress, a producer, a pioneer, and a timeless symbol of freedom and contradiction. She died young, yes, but her light never faded, because every smile, every glance, every silence of hers still reminds us that behind the myth was a woman who just wanted to be loved. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And remember to turn on the notification bell to keep discovering the stories of those who changed the world with their lives. Catch you next time as we reveal another life behind the character.